This week's Parsha is Parshat Yitro. When it comes to naming things that are important to us, for example, naming our children, we give significant effort into naming our children with names that have depth, that have symbolism, and that has meaning. And the same is true when it comes to each one of the Torah portions. The name of each Torah portion has significance to it too. This week's Torah portion is named Yitro. Jethro, who was the father-in-law of Moshe, he's referred to and referenced as the priest of Midian. He was someone for the majority of his life who used to serve idols. He did not believe in God. However, after seeing the magnitude of events, of the splitting of the Red Sea, seeing the plagues, he realized that where he was focusing his spiritual aspects was wrong. It was the wrong channel, and he realized that joining the Jewish people was the right move for him. And he came and he joined the Jewish people. If we look at the content, what's written in this week's Torah portion, one of the most significant, if not the most significant event, was the Jewish people receiving the Ten Commandments, receiving the Torah at Mount Sinai. Wouldn't it be more appropriate to name this week's Torah portion in reference to something that aligned to the giving of the Torah? Sometimes we have bucket lists of things that we want to be able to do. As people, we want to be able to visit certain places. We have wish lists of the type of lives we want to be able to lead, the type of communities we want to be able to be part of. And many a time, if we're privileged enough, we'll be able to accomplish those things. We strive all our lives for those opportunities. However, once we are actually in that environment, once we find ourselves in that circumstance, after a while, it starts to wane. All of that vision that we had, all of that anticipation, we become immune to the privilege that we find ourselves in. And it takes an outsider to be able to come and wake us up and say, you don't understand how privileged you are. The Jewish people were in that situation. They were seeing miracle after miracle. They were living miracles on a daily basis. What was it that needed for them to be reignited? They needed an outsider. And it was Yisro who came and really shook them up, saying, guys, you don't understand how privileged you are. You have God who has your back at every step and every move that you make. You need to really be cognizant of the fact of the environment, of the situation that you're in. Hence, this week's Torah portion is named after him. I believe as well that in our own personal lives, someone who doesn't really know us may come into our lives, or a circumstance can happen where we suddenly awoken to the fact of the blessings that we live in. And we cannot take anything for granted. Specifically, I'm talking from Arizona, the community that we have, the scenery that we have is important not to take for granted. And if we do, never be close to the fact of listening to an outsider, someone who may not be from here, someone who you may not know. Open your ears and always be receptive and understanding that the situations that we're in are one of privilege. Have a good Shabbat.